All right, let's talk business analytics. Sounds boring, right? Like something out of a corporate retreat with trust falls and bad coffee. But hold on, because this stuff is actually important. Imagine a world where businesses don't just blindly throw darts at a board hoping for the best. That's what business analytics is all about, using data to make smarter decisions. Think about it. Every time you click on something online, buy a coffee, or even just walk down the street, you're leaving a trail of data. Businesses collect this data like squirrels hoarding nuts for winter. And just like those squirrels, they need to figure out what to do with all that information. That's where business analytics comes in. It's like having a superpower that lets you see patterns and trends in the chaos. By analyzing data, businesses can understand their customers better, optimize their operations, and ultimately, make more money. It's not magic, but it's pretty darn close. So, the next time you hear someone drone on about data-driven decision-making, just remember, it's not just corporate jargon, it's the future of how businesses thrive. And honestly, anything that helps us avoid another recession is something worth paying attention to, right? Now let's talk about the tools of the trade. Business analytics isn't just one thing, it's a whole toolbox full of techniques and methods. It's like those massive Swiss Army knives that have a tool for everything, even things you didn't know existed. First up, we have descriptive analytics. This is like looking in the rearview mirror. It tells you what happened in the past. What were your sales last quarter? How many customers visited your website? It's basic, but hey, you gotta start somewhere. Next, we have predictive analytics. This is where things get a bit more interesting. It's like having a crystal ball without the creepy fortune teller vibe. By analyzing past data, predictive analytics can forecast future trends and behaviors. Will sales go up or down next month? Who's likely to buy your new product? The possibilities are endless. Or at least as endless as your data set. Finally, we have prescriptive analytics. This is the holy grail of business analytics. It tells you what to do. It's like having a super smart advisor who always gives the best advice and doesn't charge you an hourly rate. Prescriptive analytics takes all the data and uses fancy algorithms to recommend the best course of action. So there you have it, descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive analytics. It's like a three-course meal for your data-driven decision-making needs. Now that we've got our tools, let's talk about how to use them. Business analytics isn't about randomly applying techniques and hoping for the best. It's a systematic process, kind of like baking a cake. But instead of flour and sugar, we're using data and algorithms. The first step is to define the problem. You wouldn't start baking a cake without knowing what kind of cake you want to make, would you? The same goes for analytics. What are you trying to achieve? What questions are you trying to answer? Once you know what you're aiming for, it's time to collect the data. This is like gathering all the ingredients for your cake. You need to make sure you have the right data from the right sources. Otherwise, your cake is going to taste like, well, garbage data. Next, you need to clean and prepare the data. This is the part where you sift out the lumps in the flour and separate the egg whites from the yolks. Data can be messy, so you need to clean it up and format it in a way that's usable for analysis. Now comes the fun part, analyzing the data. This is where you get to mix all the ingredients together and pop it in the oven. You can use all sorts of techniques to analyze the data, like statistical analysis, data visualization, and machine learning. Finally, it's time to interpret the results and communicate your findings. This is like frosting the cake and presenting it to your friends. You need to translate all that data into actionable insights that people can understand and use. So, there you have it. Define, collect, clean, analyze, interpret, communicate. It's a simple recipe for analytical success, and unlike baking a cake, you don't even have to worry about burning it. Section 4. Data mining. Digging for gold in mountains of data, data mining. It sounds like something out of an Indiana Jones movie, doesn't it? But instead of searching for ancient artifacts, we're on a quest for hidden patterns and insights buried deep within mountains of data. Imagine you have a giant warehouse filled with data. And I mean giant, like Costco on steroids. You know there's valuable stuff in there, but it's all jumbled together. Customer transactions, website logs, social media posts, the works. That's where data mining comes in. It's like having a metal detector that can sift through all the noise and pinpoint the nuggets of gold. There are all sorts of techniques used in data mining like clustering, association rule learning, and anomaly detection. Don't worry too much about the technical jargon. Just think of them as different ways of finding needles in the haystack. So, why is data mining so important? Well, for starters, it helps us understand our customers better. By analyzing their past behavior, we can identify trends, predict their future needs, and tailor our products and services accordingly. But it's not just about customers. Data mining can also help us optimize our operations, improve our marketing campaigns, and even detect fraud. It's like having a secret weapon that gives us a competitive edge. Of course, with great power comes great responsibility. Data mining can be used for good or evil, just like any other tool. It's important to use it ethically and responsibly, respecting people's privacy and using the insights for the benefit of all. Section 5. Data disasters. When good data goes bad. Data is like milk. When it's fresh, it's a beautiful thing. You can use it to make all sorts of delicious and nutritious things. But when data goes bad, it can curdle your entire analytics operation faster than you can say, data breach. One of the biggest problems is incomplete data. It's like trying to bake a cake without all the ingredients. You might end up with something that looks like a cake, but it's not going to taste very good. Another common issue is inaccurate data. This is like using salt instead of sugar in your cake recipe. It might look fine, but one bite and you'll know something's terribly wrong. And then there's inconsistent data. This is like using different units of measurement in your recipe, cups for the flour, grams for the sugar, and who knows what for the eggs. It's a recipe for disaster. But wait, there's more. Data can also be biased, outdated, or just plain wrong. It's like trying to bake a cake with moldy flour, expired eggs, and a recipe from the 1950s. It's not going to end well. So, what can you do to avoid these data disasters? Well, for starters, you need to make sure you're collecting high-quality data from reliable sources. You also need to clean and prepare your data carefully, identifying and correcting any errors. And most importantly, you need to be aware of the potential pitfalls of bad data, because when it comes to data analysis, garbage in equals garbage out. Section 6. Hitting the bullseye. Understanding different analytical targets. Now let's talk about targets. No, not the kind you shoot arrows at, although that does sound kind of fun. In the world of business analytics, targets are what we're trying to predict or influence. Think of them like the bullseye on a dartboard. The more accurately we can hit them, the better our results. There are all sorts of targets in business analytics, depending on what you're trying to achieve. Some common ones include customer lifetime value. This is the total amount of money a customer is expected to spend with your business over their lifetime. It's like predicting how many darts a customer will throw at your dartboard and hopefully hit the bullseye. Customer churn. This is the rate at which customers stop doing business with you. It's like figuring out how many people are walking away from your dartboard in frustration. Sales forecasting. This is predicting how much you're going to sell in the future. It's like estimating how many bullseyes you're going to hit in the next hour. No pressure. Risk assessment. This is identifying and evaluating potential risks to your business. It's like spotting any potential hazards around your dartboard, like a rogue dart thrower or a wobbly floor. Understanding the different types of targets is crucial for successful business analytics. It's like knowing where to aim your darts. Without a clear target, you're just throwing darts blindly and hoping for the best. Section 7. Business analytics, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Well, folks, we've reached the end of our whirlwind tour of the wacky world of business analytics. We've covered a lot of ground, from the basic concepts to the potential pitfalls. So, let's wrap things up with an honest assessment of the field, the good data-driven decision-making. Business analytics helps us move away from gut feelings and make more informed decisions based on hard data, competitive advantage. In today's data-driven world, businesses that embrace analytics have a clear edge over those stuck in the Stone Age. Improved efficiency and profitability. By optimizing operations, identifying new opportunities, and mitigating risks, businesses can boost their bottom line. The bad data overload. We're drowning in data these days, and it can be overwhelming to make sense of it all. The skills gap. There's a shortage of skilled data analysts, which can make it difficult for businesses to find the talent they need. Ethical concerns. As with any powerful tool, business analytics must be used responsibly and ethically. The ugly bad data, garbage in, garbage out. If you're using bad data, your analytics will be worthless. Misinterpretation of results. Data can be misleading, and it's important to interpret the results carefully. The black box problems. Some analytical models can be complex and difficult to understand, even for experts. So there you have it. Business analytics is a powerful tool that can help businesses thrive, but it's not without its challenges. Like a double-edged sword, it can be used for good or evil. It's up to us to use it wisely and responsibly.